What if I was to tell you that one game trailer completely changed how the world sees Chinese AAA gaming? When Black Myth Wukong dropped its first gameplay reveal in 2020, which feels like a decade ago, it didn't just look good, it looked absolutely impossible. Developed by a relatively unknown studio, powered by Unreal Engine 5, and based on one of the most legendary mythological stories ever told. This game instantly became one of the most anticipated action RPGs in the world. And so, what made it so special? Well, let's break it down. Black Myth Wukong is based on the 16th century Chinese novel Journey to the West, one of the four great classical novels of Chinese literature. At the center of that story is Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. He's not just a hero, he's a trickster, a rebel, a god slayer, a chaotic force of nature. This myth has inspired everything from anime to modern games. This includes Dragon Ball. Yes, for those who don't know, Goku is loosely inspired by Wukong. But here's what Black Myth, differs from anything else. It doesn't treat the story like a cartoon. It treats it like a dark, epic fantasy that it should. And that tone shift alone made people, pay attention. The combat clearly draws inspiration from titles like Sekiro Shadows Die Twice and even God of War, with its deliberate attacks, stamina management, and even, for sure, punishing bosses. But Black Myth adds something new, very unique. You don't just fight, you also transform into these monsters, these massive mythical beasts and beings. Your staff changes sides mid-combat, and your abilities feel magical, fluid, and cinematic, just like your staff. It's a Souls-like, but mythological, and that just breathes a fresh air into the, Souls-like series. Let's be honest, a huge reason this game exploded was how it looked. Dense forests, hyper-detailed fur physics, and massive bosses with layered animations. Lighting that just feels almost photorealistic. For many viewers in 2020, this was the first time seeing a Chinese-developed game that looked AAA Western blockbuster. And it wasn't just impressive, it was industry-shifting. This might be the most important part. For decades, major AAA fantasy games leaned heavily into Western mythologies, like knights, dragons, Norse gods, and even medieval Europe. But Black Myth Wukong was unapologetically just centered around Chinese mythology. Its Taoist demons and Buddhist symbolism, ancient folklore creatures rarely seen in mainstream Western games. And it doesn't explain itself for Western audience, it expects you to lean in and learn. That confidence made it feel authentic, not just manufactured. With each boss, it didn't just feel like a health bar. They felt like characters ripped straight from the myth. Grotesque monks, tragic spirits, towering celestial beings. There's theatrical quality to every encounter, like you're participating in a folklore rather than just clearing up levels. And that emotional storytelling through combat is just absolutely powerful. The developer Game Science wasn't a massive decades-old AAA publisher. When the first trailer dropped, many people thought it was just fake. It looked too good to be true. But it wasn't. And watching a smaller studio challenge the global giants just made people root for it even more. The trailer launched during a time when Souls-likes were massively popular. Unreal Engine 5 hype was growing, and gamers were craving something culturally different. And Black Myth Wukong didn't just look good, it arrived at the perfect moment. Black Myth Wukong isn't special just because of its graphics. It's special because it represents a cultural shift, a technical achievement, a mythological epic reimagining, and proof that AAA gaming is no longer geographically limited. And it showed that the next generation of global blockbuster games could come from anywhere, and that's so exciting. With the sequel now being constantly teased, what do you think? Is Black Myth Wukong the future of mythological gaming, or just another Souls-like skin that's gonna be forgotten about? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please like, subscribe for more deep dives into games that are shaping the industry. Thanks for watching, and I'll leave you with this little snippet of Black Myth Wukong. Take care.